Welcome to another episode of Same Text, Different Font. I always have to think about it just in case I get it wrong.
That's why there's a pause right before she greets everyone. But hey, everyone.
You see my shirt? Today we are talking about no longer girlfriend, I'm a fiance.
And if we're talking about shirts, mine, you can't really see it, but it says maid of honor because that is my role and I take it very seriously, as any maid of honor should.
Yes, this is a big task.
Yep, I'm on it.
I hope you guys are following us on all of our social medias. As you might know, we are on Instagram. We have a podcast on Spotify, and we recently have a YouTube channel. So like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, as my mom says.
That's what she says? When did she say that?
My mom says that when she, I don't know, like when she sends me YouTube videos and stuff. Or like, she said it to me one time in person. She was like, share, and subscribe. And I was like, what?
We're trying.
She watches a lot of YouTube.
I'm trying to. Go ahead.
She also was the one that was like, you should put it on YouTube. It'll be easier for people to watch. So.
I'm trying so hard to try to convince her to get on in front of the camera one day, because if anyone who knows her knows that she has a very unique perspective on lots of things. She's super open-minded, always willing to have a conversation. Very, what's the word? I don't know.
She's a vibe.
But
if
she
you
is.
Know my mom,
you know that's.
But if you know my mom and you want her to be in an episode, comment below.
Yeah.
Because she will be in the comments. She knows how to do that. She will be in the comments. So feel free to.
For those of you who don't know our mom, she once told me, talking about someone who was like trying to flirt with someone and get with someone. She told me, which I didn't even really know this was a thing, but she said they were just trying to shoot their shot. And I was like, what?
I don't know. I know where she gets it.
Shooting the shot? Like,
I know where she gets it because she watches a lot of YouTube and TV and like Love and Hip Hop and stuff like this. She watches.
My God. So she knows all the words, all the new slang. She uses it. Yes. It's one thing to know it, but she also uses it. It's in the correct context.
Yes.
So if you want to see what made us who we are, you are not ready.
You're not ready
for her, but she'll need to come on.
Also, she'll need to come on, but like later on, because if she comes on, she'll get her own show.
Yeah, she might overtake the show.
She's gonna go viral before we do.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, we have to be strategic about this.
Yes.
Because I think.
But if at some point we feel like, we might need to kick it up a notch.
We used to say that.
For the young people that don't know, that's from Emeril Lagasse.
Oh, yeah.
He used to say that it's a cooking show reference.
Oh, my God.
For those young people out there.
They still have cooking shows, right?
Yeah, but not Emeril Lagasse.
No. Yeah, it's totally different people.
Yeah.
That was a little tangent.
Yeah.
But,
don't know where that came from.
Yeah. If you guys see, I'm drinking tea in my favorite mug. I don't know how I'm going to be able to show this, but it says mornings are rough, RUFF, with all kinds of dogs featured on the cup. My sister and my future brother-in-law picked this out for me because I told them how difficult mornings can be for me. And this is my favorite mug ever.
I chose it.
And she chose it.
He paid for it.
I was going to say, you chose it and he probably paid for it. But it's my favorite mug. So I'm having tea no matter how warm it is outside. I know spring is here and the weather is getting nicer, but no matter what, I still need my hot tea.
But we also grew up, and I think it's a cultural thing, especially in the Caribbean. People drink tea at all times of the year, season. Like when we're in the Caribbean, we're still drinking tea.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, but
it's not. I don't think it's about the routine, like the ritual, like the tradition.
Yes,
it brings people together.
So for me, and every morning I drink tea. I don't drink coffee in the morning because in my mind I don't need. First of all, coffee doesn't do anything for me. It does not. Caffeine does not keep me awake. I can drink coffee and go straight to sleep. So I drink coffee for the taste. but I have tea every morning because even if coffee did something to me, I don't need it in the morning because I just woke up. So I don't need it. Although sometimes I feel like I do, but it's the point of just out of routine, I drink tea every morning. Tea, I think, also is just like a cultural thing for us that we drink a lot of tea. Our parents are from Trinidad, so we're not from direct Indian background, but like our great great grandparents were from India. But she drinks chai, I drink black tea. She drinks all kinds, but
I drink all kinds of tea.
Yeah.
Although it's been a struggle for me to like green tea. I know it has great health benefits. I know that it does a lot for the body, but I'm not there yet. I'm still stuck on black tea.
we grew up drinking black tea.
Yeah.
So that's our normal. We drink black tea
Yeah.
all the time. But tea, as part of my routine, I drink it, but also it's just something so comforting to me.
Yeah.
It's like when you don't have comfort food, I just have tea, which is like a comfort.
beverage.
It's a hug in a mug.
I don't know where you heard that from. Did you just make that up?
No,
I wouldn't be surprised if you did.
no. But it's so true.
It is. It just makes you feel so much more comforted
Yeah.
and reassured. It's, I don't know, for people, I mean, but it's hot tea. It can't be iced tea.
Oh no, iced
That's
tea
not
doesn't
a
do
hug in
anything.
a mug.
No,
That's-
that's not a hug in a mug.
No. But
Mm.
anyway, we have a very exciting topic for today. For those of you who don't know us very well or know one of us, maybe not the other one, Kristen is now engaged.
I'm a fiance. Fiance.
She's engaged as of last year, November. She's planning on getting married later this year. And on behalf of I was going to say my family, but that's our family. Well, on behalf of our mom and myself, we are so excited, so happy. Can't wait for this day to come. We're talking about the playlist. We're talking about clothes. Yeah, we have some requests for the playlist. We'll talk about that later. But nothing could make us more excited. So we're talking all things wedding planning and wedding.
All things wedding planning
Today.
and wedding. So I'm gonna get into a little bit of the background here. Paige actually set us up. It was a blind date. Paige set us up and we went out, and so we've been together for 5.5 years at our 5-year anniversary.
Wow, you really had to throw in the hat.
Yeah, because it leads to, so our 5-year anniversary was when he proposed, and for our 6th year anniversary will be the wedding. So that's why. So we're like almost halfway there in the year to the wedding. So we've been together for 5 years. We've been living together for a little over a year. What was I going to say? Something about the line of
What, till the wedding?
I don't know. So that's like a little bit of our background. We've been dating for a long time. What I thought was a long time because
That's a long time.
I think it's a long time because some people now they get married so fast. But I think we waited, and we wanted to make sure, which I think everyone should wait until you know for sure you want to marry this person. And when you do get engaged, so for me, when I got engaged, I did expect it. However, I was still shocked. I knew it was coming at some point, but I didn't know exactly when. And when it happened, I was in shock. And I kind of don't remember what happened too much.
You had a bit of amnesia.
Yeah, it seems like that.
An amnesia.
Yes.
But it was, my mom and I obviously knew that it was going to happen, and we were talking about it. And she said, oh, it's not going to happen because of whatever was going on in her mind. However, my mom and I already knew that this was already in the works, definitely going to happen. So we were really excited to know that she had no idea it was going to be 100% her natural response. I didn't expect her to have amnesia though, but
Yeah.
such is life. And then the next day, she didn't even tell us the day she got engaged. I was waiting for a message, a video call, an owl from Hogwarts, like anything to announce this engagement, and she didn't even let us know, which I understand. Sometimes people want to keep it private. They want to just have that short amount of time for themselves. Anyone that knows her knows that she's a super private person, so that's not surprising.
Here I am on a YouTube channel. I'm so private.
Yeah. I mean, with her, like, personal detail,
yes,
like, really
yes.
important stuff. And she came over to my apartment here the next day, and she was so slick. She walked in with her hand in her jacket pocket so that we wouldn't see the ring. But little did she know this whole place was decked out and decorated. And
But the best part is, like, they open the door and they're like,
yeah.
and I was like,
Yeah.
like,
But also, we should have not dressed up.
yes,
way
they
that
were
we did.
dressed,
Like,
and I was like, why are you looking like that?
Yeah, that was a mistake. I
Yes.
should have just looked how I normally look because that
I mean,
threw the whole thing off.
that and your face.
Well, I mean, you were gonna find out anyway because
I know.
I had a slideshow playing, I had an engagement playlist going on.
Yeah.
So it was only a couple seconds of show.
But even still, it was great. And to you guys and to everyone, I do want to say, which I've said before, but I think the engagement time really is the best. Well, I don't know about the wedding. We'll see when we get there. But so far, the engagement time has been the best. There's been so many people that has sent gifts and cards and flowers and with such kind words. It's so nice to see that everyone is celebrating our love and have just such nice, genuinely sweet words. And I think, especially for girls, young girls growing up, and it's not a cultural thing, but I think in every girl's life at some point she knows she wants to get married. So for someone to find the person that they want to spend their life with, it's something that should be celebrated. And I think that's why it's like such a big deal for girls, because I know for me, like any of my female friends, even my coworkers, the residents that I work with, it's like if someone gets engaged, we celebrate it so much because we know it's such a big deal for a woman to find the person. It's also a big deal for a guy as well.
Yeah, it's a big deal for a guy. I think it's in some ways even a bigger deal for guys. Yeah, I think so because I feel like it typically takes men a little bit longer to realize that this is the person I want to be with, this is the person I want to commit to. So in that sense, I feel like it can be just as much a big deal for men. It's not celebrated in the same way.
It's not.
But hopefully the same sentiment exists for them in their circle.
Yes. But I think for guys, it might be a little different because some guys are like, I don't know if I want to get married. It's not something that, people really talk about much. But with females, it's always very prevalent of when you're getting married, you're getting older. And I think that aside from that, I think women are just so happy to see other women find their partner that they want to share their life with. And it's something that's so celebrated. And thank you to everyone for all of the well wishes and kind gestures, flowers, gifts, cards, everything that came in. It all means so much to me and to Nigel. Obviously, I'm speaking for him, but I'm sure it means a lot to him. And we really appreciate everything. And this time has really been great. I don't feel stressed. I am not like a crazy bridezilla that is like
not yet. There's still opportunity. There's still time.
But for now, it's like I'm just trying to enjoy the moment. I am very confident in what I want in every aspect of like the dress, in terms of the look of the wedding, the feel of the wedding,
the vision, the feel.
Vision. Yes, it's very straightforward to me. Nigel and I are very I don't want to say simple, but we're very chill people. Like we're not flying in flowers from Thailand or like.
You're not?
No.
Oh.
Like
I was looking forward to the Thailand.
We're not doing anything.
To the Thai flora.
Yeah.
No,
not
it's not
here.
coming?
Not
Okay.
here.
Well.
It's we looked at a few venues. I narrowed it down. We're having a very small wedding, so that did help to narrow it down because a lot of venues in Queens, Long Island, New York, they want like 100 or 120 people minimum. We're having under 100 people, maybe close to 70 people. So it's considered to be pretty small. For me, that's big because there was There was a time I didn't want to get married. There was a time I wanted a civil ceremony and I did not want a reception.
And thank God she's like turned a corner in that sense, because I mean, I totally support any decision she makes, any decision you feel is best for you, but I really wanted to have a party. Like, there's not going to be anything else than I'm going to get so drunk.
You
I
know,
don't
she
even
doesn't
drink.
drink.
I don't even drink.
You
but
can get drunk. The
I'm
maid
gonna
of honor cannot get drunk.
Listen, I'm gonna have the best time. I've waited for this for so long. I'm just gonna have the best time. I'm gonna still help you when you need to go to the bathroom. I'll still do my duties and everything else, but you just better be prepared that I will be on the dance floor from the time it is open to the very, very end.
You can get drunk because you ain't really.
Okay, maybe I won't get drunk, but I'll just be like really over the moon
Yes,
happy.
you could do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we want. We don't want people to be like, oh my God, it was so fancy. It was so elegant.
No one
That's
goes.
not our vibe. We want people to come, have a good time. I do want people to tell me that the food was good because I thought the food was good when I did the tasting. So I hope you enjoy the food.
I mean, that's what people go to weddings for. They go for the food and the music. So those two things have to be
good.
Good.
Yes.
It has to be enjoyable for everyone. Also, you need to know your crowd. I feel like
my crowd is there.
Your crowd wants a DJ.
Yes.
Some crowds may want a band. Totally different vibe. But you have to know the people that are coming, know what they like. I mean, yes, it is your day, but you want people to enjoy the experience. You want people to remember it.
Yeah.
And like hopefully have really great things to say about it. So I was married. I planned a wedding. I am no longer married.
It wasn't because of the wedding.
It wasn't. The wedding was beautiful, if I might say so myself. But weddings can be super fun. I know that it is stressful to plan, but anything like that is like any event, whether it be big or small, there will be stress. Obviously, this is on a much bigger scale. However, I think there are things that can be done ahead of time to minimize the stress.
And also you have to be very organized.
I think that's number one. You need to be organized. Mm-hmm. You need to, I don't know, whatever you need in terms of organization, whether it be a notebook, post-its, reminders on your phone, a calendar,
an Excel sheet,
anything.
My one Excel sheet has like 10 tabs and everything is organized. So I have all the venues that I saw, and then I have the breakdown of like how much was it per person, what did this offer, what did this people offer, because I'm doing everything on site. I'm doing ceremony and reception on site, so I needed to like have everything there. So it's like a tab for venue, the tab for the guest list, all the vendors, and just multiple different things. So everything is in this one living document. So that's my form of keeping it organized. Whatever form you works best for you, do that. But organization is key here. And I'm saying it's a small wedding, 70 people. It's still pretty average, but I'm doing it in a year. People are telling me I'm crazy, but I don't think it's crazy because
I don't think it's crazy.
I don't even feel stressed. I feel like everything is under control. Not really doing much, but I will say in terms of vendors, people are charging $900 for makeup. And I think that is ridiculous because
$900.
$900 just
for get a whole new face.
Just for myself. I know, right? It's like that's not including, and the best part is like $900 with skincare included. And my coworker was like, "What is she gonna rub cream on your face?" And I was like, "I don't know.
No, she's gonna clean it. She's gonna clean it. She's gonna tone it, and then she's gonna do other things to it."
It's like $900 is kind of ridiculous because I could buy you a whole new makeup set.
No one should spend that amount of money on makeup on any given day.
I agree.
Remember, like your wedding, you want to look like yourself. At least that's how I feel.
Yeah.
You want to look like the best version of yourself, but you don't want to look like a $900 new person.
Yes, you don't want to look plastic. You don't want to look made up. I don't need to see the layers of makeup on your face. Like,
I mean, of course, you need to maybe go a little bit heavier for pictures, and you need it to stay pretty much the whole night.
You need your lashes.
Yeah, you need the lashes and all those things. But I would assume that most people want to be as close to what they normally look like on a day-to-day basis as opposed to the other spectrum, which is looking like someone you don't even recognize.
Yeah. And I think your partner will appreciate that as well, so that they can recognize you when you come down the aisle.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Also, $900 for hair, bobby pins included. And I was like, well, if I bring my own bobby pins, do I get a discount? Because I got a lot of them laying around. $900.
They do use a lot of bobby pins. I remember
Yes.
for my wedding, I was pulling out bobby pins for like a very long time. And I kind of just laid out everything that was in my hair, the eyelashes. I didn't really have anything else on me, but to see like makeup wipes, I used like a whole pack of makeup wipes because it's so much. And I feel like I looked pretty natural, but still it adds up. But it's to see all the things laid out, it's unbelievable.
It is. It's a lot
crazy.
of stuff. And then that's not including extensions, if you're getting extensions, if you're getting, I don't know what else.
I mean, I think however you want to look, whatever your vision is, if you have the means to do it and it's really that important to you, then by all means. Everyone has a different idea of what they want to look like. But the most important thing is that you want to look and feel your best.
But also, you just said a very good comment. If you have the means to do it, do not go into debt for your wedding, because it will not be worth it. I don't think it's worth it to go into debt for your wedding.
Well, people often say, like, I'm only going to do it once. Sure, you're only going to do it once, but that doesn't, in my mind, give you free reign to blow your savings, blow your 401k or
max out a
403b,
credit card.
max out a credit card. You don't want to
start your new life with your partner in
debt.
That's not my priority. And also, if you are going to blow the money, take that money and go on a really good honeymoon where you and your partner can enjoy it, as opposed to spending it on flying in flowers from Thailand.
Unless you're from Thailand and you want something from home,
that's different.
That's like familiar.
Just go to Thailand and get married. That's
things are way cheaper. But I think what you said about being organized is really important, but also having an idea. I would say the first two things you should do is sit down and talk about your guest list and your budget.
Yes.
You need to know how many people are coming to this wedding. You need to be strategic about who you invite. Just because you met someone for one time in passing at the bus stop and you guys think you're best friends, no, that person does not get an invite.
Not all of your social media followers will get an invite.
Not all of your coworkers might get an invite.
Yes. And then you also have to consider as well, if I invite this one coworker, does that mean I have to invite the entire team, or is this going to be like a thing? So you have to be strategic about this, but also you may need to have that difficult conversation and tell people, actually, we're having a really intimate ceremony and a really small reception. You're not invited to the wedding. However, you can't say that if you're having 600 people at your wedding, because it's not going to go over very well. So you need to pick your battles here. But also for me and for Nigel, I know we want it to be very intimate. People that we've been friends with for a long time, obviously family, people that have supported us through our relationship and has been a prominent part of our life.
I better be first on that guest list. If that's the criteria, I need to be first, and mommy can be second.
Peanut galleries.
But so those are the two first things you should do. Talk about your guest list. And the reason why we're going over this is because a lot of people don't know where to start.
Because it's overwhelming.
It can be overwhelming, and it shouldn't be. It should be a really happy time in your life where you get to enjoy every moment of it. Hopefully not be too stressed, and be prepared for what's coming. So like I said, I think
guest list
first. Also talking about a budget, because what you and your partner intends on spending on this wedding may be very different.
And it will determine a lot of factors, because then you can look into your venue. What types of venue you're having, and also you need something to tell the venues when you reach out, because they need to know, can they accommodate your party size? Is your party too big? Is your party too small? Do we have a space for this size party? And then also, what type of budget are you working with? Are we, and there's ways to cut the budget, and that might be doing it on a Friday night, a Sunday night, or a Sunday brunch wedding.
Mhm.
There are many different options. What I learned, someone offered me the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and you get a weekday price. It's who's getting married on a Wednesday, but it's the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and you do save a lot of money that way. So there are little things that you can think about to help save money, but you need to, when you go to the venues, you need to have something to present to them. So when you have your guest list, a rough head count, you have a budget, then you can start looking at venues. After venues, you'll know what you need. Does the venue have food? Are they doing catering in-house? Are they doing alcohol in-house? Do you need to get licensed to bring in your own stuff? And then
also the actual look of the room. Does it need a lot of decor? Does it need a lot of decorations? Does it need flowers from Thailand?
yes.
Some places might need that level of decor.
Yes. And then with that, you also have to consider, okay, I'm saving on the venue, but I'm going to need to spend more on the decorations. Let me look around and see. Maybe I can find a venue that is a little more decorated or a little more with the look and feel that I want. So I don't need to add too many decorations. The cost might end up balancing out. So weigh those options when you are looking at your venues.
I was also going to mention it's really important to talk about your ceremony. It may be a very short one, it may be 20 minutes, it may be 3 hours. But you and your partner, if you're not of the same religion, if you're not from the same place, if you have different family traditions, it's important to know what those are so that you don't find that out later on.
That should actually be something that I think you should kind of discuss before you get engaged to have an idea.
Yeah, definitely before you get engaged. Even,
but then
let's say
after
for religion, fill in the details.
Yes.
Like, we need to have this type of ceremony because of X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. But beforehand, you should be having the conversation. Are you religious?
Mm-hmm.
Do you go to church, mosque, temple, whatever it may
Synagogue.
be? Synagogue. Do you expect this type of wedding? Do you expect our children to be baptized and into this religion? These are things that you should find out before you get engaged.
Yeah.
So that there's no surprises when it happens, because now you're like, oh my God, yes, I want to spend my life with you. Well, I don't want to be converted to your religion. And then you don't want to deal with that.
The whole thing falls apart.
So speaking of the ceremony,
it's much easier to have those difficult, uncomfortable conversations before you get engaged, because those will build a very solid foundation for you moving forward. And I know that coming from me, that's like not making much sense since I'm divorced.
That was not the issue.
But what I have learned is have those conversations before.
Yes.
Because they will make or break things in the future. So
get them out of the way. Have those hard decisions, conversations.
Yeah.
So that when you are planning the wedding, when you're discussing the ceremony, also the look and feel of the ceremony. When you're doing decorations for your ceremony, majority of the time you can have your indoor reception decor also doubled for your ceremony space, because it's at 2 different times. You can have the same florals or whatever type of maybe backdrop that you're having. You can have it for the ceremony space. And then once all your guests move into cocktail hour, the venue team will take all of those decorations and bring them back into your reception space, and no one knows anything different. They're just going to say, wow, it matched the ceremony space. No one has to know that it was repurposed.
I wouldn't say repurposed. It's relocated.
It's relocated.
It's relocated in the venue.
Yes.
That's all. And that's totally fine.
That's totally fine. No one has to know anything, and it helps you to save money. And which by the way, I reached out to a few decorators.
This was shocking to me.
Yeah, it was so shocking to me, because I thought people like to make money. I guess not. Because one company who actually did her wedding and is great, I'm not going to say their name, but they're really great. And I look at their stuff on Instagram all the time. I love their work. They have now started doing retail locations. So they do like storefronts and stuff like that. It's so beautiful. And the person that's in charge of these things, she pretty much ghosted me and I haven't heard from her. Someone else, another company, I don't know much about them, but my coworker used them and it looked beautiful. She had great things to say. This person, we set up meetings and she did not show up for the meetings, which was so weird to me. So this is now two companies that essentially stood me up, or I don't know.
When she said this to me, I said you need to automatically exclude them in the running, because if they can't show up for a meeting even before you've signed a contract, you're not going to be able to find them.
Well, of course, that made me very hesitant because I was like, oh my
As
God,
it
what if they
should.
flake on me
As it should.
on the day of my wedding? And that's another thing, get a contract. Make sure some of the hair and makeup artists that I reached out to, they said they don't need a contract. Get a contract.
Get a contract.
Because
And if they provide you with a contract, read it.
Always read your contract in life.
Yeah.
Just read your contracts. This is for makeup, but still read it. Because they might tell you you gotta bring your own foundation and you didn't know that because you didn't read the contract. And then your hair contract might tell you you need to bring your own bobby pins, but you didn't read the contract, so you ain't got no bobby pins.
Well, I don't know what else you could use in place of that.
You gotta go
to the 99
to the
cent
99
store.
cent store and get some bobby pins.
Well, you gotta pick up like 10 packs because you're gonna need a whole lot of them. No one is making another trip.
No.
All right, so we spoke about guest list, venue, ceremony,
vendors.
If your vendor's not getting back to you and they're ghosting you, cross them off the list, cut your losses. You're not going to have a good experience moving forward if you can't even sit down with them to tell them what you're looking for, introduce yourself, talk a little bit about your vision for the wedding. Cut your losses.
You don't
They've
want them.
clearly spread themselves too thin.
I don't know if it's an official quote, but I see it on social media all the time, and it says, when people show you who they are, you believe them.
Oh, yeah.
So believe them.
Oh, well, that's in everything. That's just not in business.
Exactly. But like
everything.
When you can't get them on the phone, then okay, that's it.
Yeah. Don't chase anyone, because if that's how you're gonna have to get someone's attention in business, I guarantee it'll only get harder.
Yes. And
you sign a contract.
That's where the stress comes in. You don't want to deal with that stress.
No. And especially later on.
Yes.
You want to have those things in place as early as possible. Start doing your research early. You'd be surprised how many different vendors you need. Hair, makeup, DJ, or band. Basically any type of live music.
And they get booked way in advance.
Yeah.
And for some hair and makeup artists, they will only do the bride. And if you have a bridal party, they need to bring in a second makeup artist, or they'll tell you you need to find your own second makeup artist. So now you have multiple contracts that you need. You need multiple artists to come day of. Figure out where you're getting ready.
That's also important.
Most venues, they allow you to come in 2 hours beforehand, but the makeup is not taking it's going to take longer. Hair and makeup is going to take longer, especially for yourself, for your bridal party. Yeah. You don't want to run late. Get it done. I don't want to say early, but get it done in a timely fashion so that you're not running late, and always have a buffer in your time.
Yeah. Give an additional 20 minutes, 30 minutes, just to account for anything that may happen. Because certainly sometime throughout the day, there will be a surprise waiting for you around the corner.
Yes.
No matter how much you plan, whatever you do, there's just going to be something, and that's something that you need to come to terms with and accept.
Yeah, you just need to accept it and move on. Not move on, but you need to accept it and be able to keep going.
Roll with the punches.
Yeah, because you can't delay everything.
No.
Time is money.
Well, yeah, but if you want to save money, you can do like digital invitations. You don't have to do printed invitations. You can do all kinds of, you can do a wedding website, and some wedding websites allow you to have the guests RSVP on the website itself. So that saves a ton of money too.
On the wedding website, you can put multiple events on your wedding website, and you can choose who's invited to which event. So for example, if you're having a rehearsal dinner for your closest family and maybe friends, the bridal party, you can put that on the website, and those people will be able to see that, as opposed to all of your guests seeing all of that information. So you would be able to RSVP to whichever events you are invited to.
I'm just interested in, I wonder, and I hope this is the case, that the wedding website only allows a maximum, like if I'm inviting 2 people in that family, does it only allow you to RSVP for 2 people? Because I think we've all known people who they have 2 people on the RSVP card and somehow the 2 multiplies into 8. And I didn't invite 8 people here.
This is
That's another good reason. If you're not comfortable having that conversation with anyone, then find a way to make it digital.
I don't even think that's going to work. If people really want to invite 8 people to the wedding, they will call you and be like, I saw you only invited us, but what about my kids and my grandkids and their friends? Can they come too?
And the neighbor and the neighbor's dog.
And this is a cultural thing. We
the
know
person
for sure.
who's doing my nails
We
for
know-
the wedding.
We know for sure this is a cultural thing. In our culture, I am not sure with other people, but I'm sure it's the same thing. I'm sure everyone goes through this, but you need to, as I said, you need to just say, no, it's a small, intimate ceremony. For me, I'm not having children at my wedding.
You need to say, like,
I'm not having children.
I'm so happy they want to share this day with us, but we can't have everyone at the wedding. What other things?
With the invitations, if you are doing paper invitations or if you're sending out invitations, pay attention to the weight of the invitations, because when you mail it, you need to put adequate postage on it. So the heavier invitations will obviously have more postage. And if you're having 400 people at your wedding, chances are you're sending out 150, 200 invitations. The cost will add up. If you're sending out these heavy invitations that cost $5 to ship from one invite.
I mean, stamps are a lot of money now. So that's another way to cut costs if that's what you're trying to do. Hand deliver some of your invitations. It's a nice way for you to catch up with that person. You should want to catch up with that person if you're inviting them to your wedding. So hand deliver, go electronic, do digital invitations.
Or maybe for the people that are international, send them an e-invite, an electronic invite, and give out the physical invite to the people that you're seeing more day to day.
What is your take on favors?
So I think it depends on the favor. I actually came across Jordan almonds today.
With the I do not like that. That is a waste of money, a waste of time.
I like Jordan almonds, but it will break your teeth.
Yeah.
And I haven't had one in a really long time. And I was like, I don't want to risk these teeth today. So let me not have them. But I do like them. So it depends. If it's a favor that can be used, great. If it's a favor, which back in the day, it would be like a Jordan almond in the tulle with a ribbon in a shoe on a mirror on a styrofoam with the ribbon around it.
Yeah.
No, I don't need that.
I mean, you can break it apart and use all those things. You can use your mirror in your locker. You can use the ribbon for something else, but you don't really do that anymore.
No, nobody wants to do that. I've seen favors such as honey, hot sauce.
Those are useful things.
Those are useful things. I'm for that. However, I do not think favors are necessary. I think that money that you're spending on a favor might, depending on your crowd. And depending on what you like, maybe you can take that same money and upgrade something in part of your dinner. Maybe upgrade and get an ice cream station or some other dessert station, or upgrade to added
cut
course,
of meat,
a different cut of meat, an added course. Sometimes they do, I think they do like an appetizer and then they do a salad. Some places combine it. Maybe you can add something in there between or just upgrade it in some way. So that's also an option if you want to upgrade your service. Pay attention to the menus. One place, this was something that I was very adamant on. This is where the Bridezilla came out, because one venue that we looked at, the menu said tilapia on.
Some people really like tilapia.
Some people really love tilapia, and this is what I'm saying, that some people really love tilapia. I personally do not eat tilapia, and that was something that I brought up to the venue, and I said, this is the menu. I know it says tilapia. I don't want tilapia. Can we change this? And it was an option. So know your options with your vendor and with the caterers. Can I change? Always make sure that there's vegetarian options. that maybe know your guests. Are they vegan, vegetarian, gluten free? You need to accommodate
Pescatarian.
Pescatarian. She's a pescatarian, so we need to make sure you have something. And I personally was not comfortable with her eating tilapia, and I wanted to upgrade the seafood dish. I wanted to upgrade the steak, which is also an option. Obviously, you will know that it is an added cost, but you have to pick and choose. So I'm not getting the flowers from Thailand, but I'm upgrading the cuts of meat.
I'm so happy.
So, you have to weigh your options here and see which one works out for you. Wedding planning does not have to be difficult, I will say. You also have to speak with your partner, make sure it's a vision that you both want and are comfortable with. You may need to include the families as well, because even though it's your wedding, many times the families do feel a big presence there, and they do feel like they are a big part of it.
As they should.
Yeah, I agree. They should. But also, I'm saying in terms of the ceremony, you need to make sure, are your parents comfortable with this? Does your parents know that you're having a non-denominational ceremony in, I don't know,
the forest,
in the forest somewhere before you come to the wedding? It's just different aspects, so you have to make sure.
You're not saying that, at least I think you're not saying you don't need anyone's permission.
No,
you don't need to run it by anyone necessarily, but I think the courteous thing to do is to tell your parents or tell your family, this is what my partner and I want.
We want to get married in the forest. And this is our choice, and we wanted to have a small intimate ceremony. We're just doing this as a courtesy to you. We want to be respectful.
You don't have to say that. You don't have to say all of that.
No, you tell to yourself that you're doing this to be respectful of your in-laws, and because you don't want to start off with any problems either, because the last thing you want is to say, this girl made my son go get married in the forest.
Okay. All right. Well, I think just know what you want. Have that discussion with your partner. Be very open and honest with each other, and remind each other what the day is about. The day is about you two. The day is about spending your life together. This is just one day, the beginning of many, many more to come.
This is the beginning of your lives together, and that's what you need to
focus on.
Right?
And hopefully, when people love and care about you the way that they should, whatever makes you happy should make them happy.
Yes.
Hopefully. Yes. As long as it's not something that is harmful to others, super embarrassing, dangerous, whatever the case may be.
Disrespectful.
Yeah, that's an important one too.
Yes. You don't want to disrespect anyone's culture or traditions.
So we talked about food. Music is super important. Please, please, please try to have something for everyone. Everyone wants to have that moment, their moment on the dance floor. I definitely want more than a moment on the dance floor. I want many moments on the dance floor. But music is also really important. So whether you are having a DJ or a live band, make sure it's something that you enjoy, because if you don't and your guests don't, no one's going to be on the dance floor. No one wants to.
But some people want that. Some people, they don't want dancing at their wedding, which is fine.
And that's fine. Someone at work talked about this recently. They don't like dancing, so they didn't want that to be a big part of their wedding.
That's fine. Yeah. And also, I've seen people are doing weddings where it's like a cocktail reception. So there's not a lot of it's not a seated dinner, which also fine. And listen, I'm all for a Sunday brunch, and I thought about doing that. We thought about doing a daytime wedding on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Just because, realistically, I'm in bed at 9 o'clock, and I was like, well, this might work because I can still be in bed at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So just do what's right for you. If you have any questions, there's so many websites, so many blogs. Use your resources, your friends, your coworkers.
That's something I wanted to bring up too. I think it's really endearing when you have people involved in your wedding, and just know the creativity or the strengths of the people around you, your friends and your family. If someone is really good at writing, have them write. a little poem or something to read at the wedding. If someone
plays an instrument,
plays an
have them play
instrument,
an
maybe
instrument.
have them do a little solo performance if they're
Mhm.
comfortable with that.
And it could be at the
Yeah.
cocktail hour. It doesn't even need to be a main showcase at the wedding,
Yeah, but
at the ceremony, but it includes them. And
people love to feel involved. People
Yes.
love to feel like they contributed to your day, and it just adds a little bit of an extra touch,
a personal touch.
a personal touch to the
Mhm,
wedding.
mhm.
And I think that's great when
Mhm.
you're able to do that. If you're able to. Not everyone is, and not everyone is comfortable with it. No problem. I know if someone asked me to, well, I don't really have a lot of artistic talents, but if I did and someone asked me to do something, I will certainly be overjoyed at the opportunity.
People might start asking.
Well, sure. I mean, I love weddings. I love being a guest at a wedding. I love planning weddings. I helped coordinate a wedding last year, 2 years ago now. Oh my God, 2 years ago.
Wow.
And it was such an amazing experience. It was a bigger wedding than I am accustomed to. I had a very small wedding, but it was such a great experience because I learned so much about the culture. I learned so much about the religion. I met so many different people and people that are friends now. So it's a new experience for everyone involved. And hopefully, no matter what you end up doing, it's a day that you can look back and feel happy. Just
Mhm.
completely happy without hopefully any regret.
So I guess we'll have to do another one post wedding to see how everything went and recap, and maybe we can do what worked and what didn't work. 'Cause-
Well, hopefully there's more on the
Yes.
what worked
yes, and
column than the what didn't
Yes,
work
but
column.
I'll be able to provide insider advice and tips.
And I will let you know if she actually turned into a bridezilla.
So keep watching us to find out. Follow us on Instagram, watch us or listen to us on Spotify, and subscribe to our channel. And like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
We'll get the hang of it sooner.
I'll
rather than
get there.
later.
Maybe
Yeah.
I might need to pre-record this and just like plug
No,
it
I
in.
think if we just like type it somewhere and have it on the like as a reminder. A cue card. We need a cue card.
Okay.
Bye. Happy wedding planning.
Oh, I didn't show my mug. Future Mrs. Augustine. Because I'm a fiance.